Just dropped my notes. Trying not to wake anybody up. So, oh, is it dark? Either my phone is dark or it's dark. Oh, that's so strange. Maybe it's just dark in here. Okay, well, go on outside. Oh, what the hell? Hold on. Oh, it's kind of, you know what? I think it's my phone. Hold on. Let me get the, wait, can I see now? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Hold on. Oh, there I am. This is why we can't have nice things. So I have started a new task for the year, and it is called SIT Team. Or not SIT Team, I call it SIT Team, School Improvement Team. So when you have a school improvement team, every, at least public schools where we live, have a school improvement team. And the school improvement team, I felt like I was on it when the kids were little. And it was, well, the most important part in my mind of a school improvement team was the calendar committee, because you got to, you know, get involved in the calendar and what was happening. Oh my God, all these people are dying to ask me questions. I am not answering questions from the subscribers. I will do a video after this and talk to y'all about the subscriber. I just had dinner with my husband. They're all dying to know every detail about everything. My ear, this is like Adrian World. We're not talking about those things tonight. Tonight we're talking about a Title I school. So get a hold of yourselves. So anyway, my daughter is in the 8th grade at middle school, and we had our SIT team meeting. And I've really been kind of out of the loop on what's happening with school in general. And I had caught wind because a friend had sent me a message and said, have you seen that our school grades came out? And I was like, no, but that never sounds good. You know, when somebody says that, it's always like, did you see what the scale said? Well, then you know it's a lot. And here comes the 8th grader right here. She's just been to play tennis with Daddy. So anyway, I thought,
What'd you buy?
I didn't buy anything. I'm doing a video. You need to go up and get a shower. You have school tomorrow.
Nobody wants to go to the North
Okay,
Carolina
stop.
Museum.
Say stop. Stop. Get out of my notes. No, stop bothering the cat.
I'm just helping you.
You're gonna hurt the cat.
Okay.
No. Okay. If you don't go upstairs now, your phone is gonna be mine when I count to 5. 1, 2, 3,
What am I
4, 5. I haven't even got to a point to I'm not kidding.
Mom, I can't just leave in 5 seconds. I have to grab stuff.
So our school in North Carolina, somebody came up with this genius idea to have you went on a date in that shirt. I don't even know what that means, but I don't think it's something nice. Yes, I did. You know what? I'm married to somebody, and they know that I'm working my ass off. Was in a meeting for hours at school. I was doing stuff for him. I've got 200 plus people coming to Edenton in a month. I've got my ear lopped off. I mean, oh my God, stop asking. No more questions. Okay, now listen. I'm going to start this over. Our school recently was rated a D. Our D.F. Walker, where my son Amos goes, was given a D. Our middle school was given a D, and our high school is a C. So now we're on this watch list that we have a D. And I think your first feeling is almost like when you're a kid, right? And you get a D on a test and you're like, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? What can I do better? And so I'm sitting in a room filled with educators, teachers, principal, guidance counselor, just really an outstanding group of people that really care. Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't be there. You can make a lot more money doing a lot more things than what those folks are doing. And they're not doing it because they're going to get rich or because, you think they have the summers off. They're doing it because they feel like, boy, this is really important. And I think as parents, we send our kids to public school and we think, okay, well, do whatever. But are we paying attention to what they need? And, I didn't really know. Or I knew, but I forgot. And I sat in that meeting today and my heart just broke because I was like, these teachers feel like this is their fault. And that's not how it works. I'm an educator. I know how it works. So in North Carolina, it feels like the system is set up to punish poor school systems like ours. So you have a grade, A, B, C, or D, right? And you might say, well, my child's school in Chapel Hill, we got an A. We must have really good teachers. Well, what you have is not poverty. So we know that you need a better connection. Okay. Golly, sucking on my internet. Oh my God. This is not the David Muir broadcast. Let's just be clear. I have a 16-year-old texting me every 8 seconds. He's just texted me, please mail my TV. Because he's off at school. Mail a television. Is he crazy? No, mailing a TV. There's, okay. So I'm in this meeting and I'm thinking, and we've got this D, and tonight is a school board meeting. And so the question at the school board meeting, I'm sure, and I couldn't stay to go because I had to come home to, handle children. And the question is, why'd you get a D? What's wrong with y'all? Well, the way it works in North Carolina is that you get a grade. 80% of the grade is an end of line score. So like 0 to 100, right? 20% of the grade is growth. So for a school system like ours, we have great growth, right? Because we start so low because of poverty. And so we have this amazing growth. Now, if in Chapel Hill, they all start off with a low A, they go up to a high A, their growth score is not too good, right? And you wouldn't blame them for having a bad growth score. If you got 100 and you get 100, I mean, what do you care? So, but for us, we have this awesome growth and it doesn't show up in our score. So we have our school grade, and then we have teachers or lack of teachers. We haven't had, we're missing 2 math teachers at our middle school. No math teachers. We need an English teacher. I was taking notes, just notes. Let's see here. Other notes. We're missing a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math teacher. Our principal has been looked all summer long. Went to Teach for America. No applicants in a year. No applicants. 0 applicants. What do you do when you have 0 applicants? What do you do? How are you supposed to have a good math score when you're missing a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math teacher? How could we possibly do well? Who can be blamed for that? Well, the funny thing is, I was talking to a good friend of mine in Raleigh, whose child is at Broughton High School in the IB program. That stands for International Baccalaureate, which I don't even know what that means other than I think it's real good, and we don't have it here. And she was telling me, she said, the average teacher in the IB program, and they teach in the IB program and traditional students, they've been teaching 16 years. We have 16 teachers this year, 16 teachers that are on the comprehensive plan. Do you know what that means? That means we have 16 teachers who maybe have never taught, don't have degrees in education. They are brand new to this. We have 16 adults who said, I'll give teaching a shot. And that's who we have. And they're committed to learning, but they're not teachers. That's all we can get. Have you thought about changing districts? No, but I have 2 children away at boarding school for high school. I value public education, yet I don't have my 2 sons in my district for school. Do I think that my district is not good? No, absolutely not. Do I think that when you live where we live, you lack access to high-quality teachers or an abundance of high-quality teachers? Yes. Yes, we do. I mean, there's no denying it. I mean, I listened to a principal today talk about all the teachers that we don't have. So when somebody says, well, what's the answer? Well, the answer is Leandro, which is a Supreme Court case that said North Carolina's Constitution says we provide a sound and basic education. And if you live in Chapel Hill versus Chowan County, you are getting a very, very, very different education. Very different. Yes, it's definitely harder to draw new graduates to smaller towns. The people that move to smaller towns either already have a connection to our smaller town, or maybe they're married to somebody moving to a smaller town. So the way you would get people to come to smaller towns, back when we used to get people to come to smaller towns, we paid them more. So instead of getting paid more to be in Raleigh, you got paid more to come to smaller communities. And right now we're 48th in the country in salary, 48th in the country in pay. How many states do we have? 50? I think they say 52, but I don't really count those. Number 48. So when my daughter doesn't have a math teacher or an English teacher, or Amos doesn't have a teacher, and the kids don't do well, what are we supposed to do? I grew up in Martin County, was not prepared for UNC Chapel Hill. And then the teachers we do have that I sat around today with, they're tired. And, I texted a couple of friends of mine and I said, we've got to get out there and do something. And any person out there, you can join your PTA, you can go out to school, join a sit team, do anything. What I heard today is that our teachers need to know that their community cares. Because I think teachers sit at school and they deal with more crap and they think the rest of us are just la, 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 and maybe we are. So we need to say, teachers, we see you and we hear you and we want to help you. And how can we do that? Homeschool. Let me tell you what, anybody wants to talk to me about homeschool, get your little fanny down to North Carolina and take Amos home with you for about a week. And you let me know how the multiplication tables are going. And then you'll remember why public education is in our state constitution. Homeschool. Anybody that tells me to homeschool, I'm going to tell you to go run an Ironman in Kenya. I mean, that is the dumbest crap I've ever heard. Homeschool. I have a job. How am I supposed to be a teacher and work? I mean, maybe back in the day when you're, Ma Ingalls, you could be like, come on, y'all, we're going to churn the butter. You got 10 spins. No churning butter. No, I don't churn butter. I eat butter, but I don't churn it. So the teachers need to be recognized and the kids need relationships. Or that was what I felt like I heard was we have all these kids and they need adults to relate to. And that can't be that hard. Because when they're in elementary school, we're out there making cupcakes and doing all sorts of stuff. And I think our kids get bigger in middle school, and our kids don't want us at middle school. Well, you know what? Then go to somebody else's middle school. Or now that I have an 8th grader, I don't care if she wants me there or not. I'm going to go anyway. Because I want her teachers to feel supported. And if she's embarrassed that I'm there, tough luck, Toots. Maybe that'll help with some of our problems. Hold on, I'm getting my link. My husband from Iron Top in Lumberton. It was not a good experience. Well, I bet it was an awfully different environment. Kids today are legit exhausting. We have a couple things at school. We have we have a family night. So now that we're on this watch list and we're a Title I school, because we have 80% poverty, 80%, we have to have families come out to school. And so one thing I'm going to do is really push people in my community to come out to stuff like this. September 28th, Thursday, from 5 to 7 p.m. How do we get people to show up and to come? And what our teacher said, our principal said today, she said, this is going to be a hard year. We've got to get our test scores up. Our teachers need help. It's going to be a hard year. And the question is, do you help or do you not? So this was one thing that really hit me pretty hard. This is a budget item. So the principal asked all the teachers to write down what they needed. And if, of course, as like a PTA member, I'm like, well, this is great. What can the PTA president get the people that they need? So I start reading the list, and it says, I got to get it in the light. It's so small. Glue sticks, hand sanitizer, earbuds, Kleenex, pencils. I mean, every teacher has pencils. Scissors, construction paper, stapler, ant spray, changing stations for Chromebooks, note cards, colored paper, pencils. This is what teachers want. Can you imagine if you worked in a job and you didn't have basic items to do your job? it blows my mind. It blows my mind. And if you are a parent out there and you get that list about, your kid needs these supplies, I get it. I get that people are short on money and that people need to eat. I mean, we're 80% poverty. But somebody out there can spare a thing of paper towels. You can do something. You can write a note. You can say hello. You can do something. Are there fundraisers? So we're getting ready to start. The fundraiser just started for my younger son's school. And then our fundraiser will start for this one. Last year, we just did simply a money fundraiser, which was great. And I think what we're trying to do this year, or what I'm trying to help them do, is be smart about what we spend our money on. So Title I money could pay for extra positions, or it could pay for pencils. So if we can reach out to Ticonderoga, is that how you say it? And say, hey, we live in rural eastern North Carolina, and most of our teachers don't have pencils. Do y'all donate pencils? Even like half a pencil that we'll sharpen? So if we can get somebody that says, we're going to send you 1,000 pencils and we don't have to pay for it, then we can spend that money on maybe another counselor, or maybe somebody to come in and talk about suicide, or maybe somebody to come in and build connections or do therapy or yoga or math. Could teachers do an Amazon wish list and people can buy and it ships to school? Yes, Kathy, and it's great, but we need long-term solutions, because what happens when I'm not here to do the video? What happens? And I'm going to be here a while, because Amos has 13 more years in public school. 13 more years. So, but we need something that has longevity, Same thing, Donna, we're doing the same thing. Title I family night. The most successful ones have free food, giveaways, students. That's exactly what we're doing. Oh, free books. I hadn't thought about that. Get people to write grants. Yeah. So then you're getting volunteers to write grants. I mean, I'm all for all these things. These are major commitments. And I guess I just want people to know, like out there, like, holy cow, you are needed. And when I heard the teacher saying, well, now we have there's like this new law in North Carolina that is dumb as rocks called parents. Where is it? God, it's so stupid. I think I wrote it down though. It just annoyed me though. Parents' right to know. So parents in North Carolina have a right to know what their children are studying. Chowan Middle School, TAM. I'm not against parents having a right to know something, but my rule would be, before you have a right to know anything, get your butt out there and do something. Send in some school supplies, call a teacher, be a parent, do something, and then you have a right to know about what your child is teaching. The parents have got to be more invested. Where do we send the supplies? Contact your local YMCA. They could offer swimming lessons. Well, Lisa, I'm very good at telling people things to do too. We do swimming lessons for our second graders. We started that a few years ago. We sure do. Google how to underwrite a grant. Thank you, Janetta. Can we send you a check? Hey, that would be a yes. Yeah. So anyway, I'll get some things up. It just being in that meeting today, my mind was just blown. It was just blown. I just wanted those teachers to know how much we appreciate them and how thankful we are that they're there, and to have just an inkling of a moment of understanding of what they're doing and why they do it. and myself included, I mean, I sat in that meeting and thought, I think sometimes we don't know what's happening because we don't really want to know. You know, it's easier to stick your head in the sand. Your own kid is fine and just move on. My daughter is great. She has parents that are well educated. She does great on all her test scores. Do I think it's because she has great teachers? Yes. Do I think it's because she has breakfast and pencils and a backpack and shoes that fit? Yes, I do. Do I think it is incredibly difficult when you only have a good teacher? Yes, I do. I sure do. Suddenly everyone is trying to give me advice. Do I look like I need advice? I don't need advice. No. Not sure why your mind was blown today. It's not a new issue. Susan and Randy. Susan, my mind is still blown by you sharing this, y'all that share these Facebook pages with your husbands. I just can't take it. That blows my mind even more than poverty. My husband doesn't have Facebook. He just lurks around on mine. Parents should know what they are teaching. You know, I'm not, I don't know. I'm sort of annoyed with parents after this whole thing. I'm like, where in the hell are the parents? I mean, these people bug me. Oh, well, here's the darn address. I'm going to put it up right here. I'm going to put it up after this video. What is it? I can't, I'm old as heck. Is it 2845 Virginia Road? I'm going to have to look. I think it is 2845 Virginia Road. Tyner, North Carolina, 27980. Joan Middle School. Anyway, if you wonder why our scores aren't good, don't blame our teachers. Please. I mean, just don't even waste your time doing that because that's bullarchy. Some of the parents are working 3 jobs. Yes, they are. They sure are working 3 jobs. So you know what they could do? They could send an email. And if they have Facebook and they're putting up photos, then they have time to send an email to a teacher and say, thank you for being my child's teacher. And if they have a smartphone, they can do something too. There is not one parent out there, or maybe there's one. Do you find yourself coming from a parent or a teacher perspective? I would say both. I've been at both sides of the table. I think I obviously know a lot about education. And so I'm aware of, like, I know what a school grade means. So I sympathize with teachers because I know more. And I want people to understand because I don't think they do get it, you know? When they retire, the husband's right under you. My husband is not retiring. That's not an option here. He's going to be out at the middle school, and we're going to have a really amazing tennis team because as soon as anybody retires around here, they're going to be teaching tennis. That's what we do. Okay, subscribers. See you in a minute. And yes, I will, if y'all want to do some things, I think that would be great. I mean, I have a whole list of things that are needed. Pencil sharpeners, pencils, staplers, staples, tape dispensers, sticky notes, expo markers. So I'll put a list in the comments. But anyway, there's going to be more about this later. So if you don't like the topic, too bad for you. And anyway, we're going to be tackling this head on. Subscribers, 2 minutes.